Okay, hi everyone. It looks like we're recording. I'm Dr. Downing, and I am going to cover in this video, I'm going to get into D2L for the class and then circle back to the course syllabus and cover all this in some detail. So here we go. There are many advantages of creating the videos. Primarily among those is if somebody misses class at the beginning, there's drop ad during the first week, things like that, they can get caught up on all of this. And then plus it helps me because I can show the video, and then it's nice because I get into dialogue with myself. I can say, well, who is this guy and what's he saying? And then I can respond to that. So we can play that out, and I can pause the video as well at various points and say, tell me what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what is happening in the class, just so we can start to build content in a straightforward way. Okay, without further ado, let me share my screen and dive in. Okay, so here is the D2L page for Journalism 1. This is for Section 10. You'll see the newspaper up here. For Section 20, you see the camera there. So, I do that, right? I pick different images to make sure I'm in the right class. So that's your first orientation point. So I'm just going to move forward. The classes will be identical. So what is here should be on the other class. So, if I'm focusing here on Section 10 and you're in Section 20, don't flip out. It's okay. It's all the same, even down to the Google folder, which I will explain. Okay, so let's dive in. There are a couple of things on the front page. Here's Journalism 1. Again, this is Section 10. And across the top, we have content, communication, assessments, resources, D2L help, and course admin. You mostly need to worry about content. That's what we're going to look at momentarily. And then under assessments, this is where you can find your grades, like class progress, and here it is, grades. You should be able to check that. I provide grades consistently throughout the course of the semester, so you should know where you stand as we complete assignments. In a journalism class, I'm not going to, there's no need for me to take all of these big research papers and be gone with them for a month and then get back to you. So I can turn those around pretty quickly. So let's look at the announcements. First, just placeholders text here. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to get this D2L page rolling. Looking forward to a great semester. This will come in handy later, American journalists. I just grabbed this from my notes, my note pile, and put that in. There's also an exercise that we're going to do. This is the type of exercise that we will do. How to rewrite a paragraph using paraphrase and direct quote. So we will look at that. And then the last thing here is English awards, and these are on April 24th, 2023. One of them, I think one or two of them relates to the Keystone and newspaper style writing, journalism, things like that. So we should talk more about that because students from my classes tend to, win those awards through the Keystone, whatever. So, this is sort of my world. So talk to me about that if you're interested in winning an award for your writing. Okay, so now to content. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Okay, I'm back. I just needed to close the door. So let me go back to sharing my screen. There we go. Okay, course syllabus. So here I just clicked into the content tab and you'll see running down this line, there's a lot in the table of contents. Now, we may not get to all 105 pieces of material here, but what I like to do is have an array of things so that when we come into the class and it's time to work on some concept or exercise, I have a group of things rather than just a single thing to look at. Models also, I like to have multiple models. So there's faculty information here. We click on that. You see that this information is here. My office hours, spring 2023. Here's the office hours here. And I say interpersonal contact is best, and I really do believe that. If you must email, then that's okay. But, talk to me. I would rather we can get more done in 5 minutes of conversation than in emailing back and forth, multiple times. So, all right, you get what I'm saying there. Talk to me. Okay, back here, course syllabus, I'll come back to that. 4 agreements, now you're seeing stuff that's going to be covered in class as we move forward. Communication models, there's a journalism handbook that I have written, as well as the publishing manual that I have written, and we can take a look at those. And moving forward, in journalism, we can look at the specific concepts, and we can talk a little bit about putting together your own book and maybe self-publishing. I do a lot with that. The Google folder then, If I click on this, the Google folder should take you here, and you'll see that you're in spring 2023, journalism, sports writing and reporting. This is our sandbox. So when I say, like we're working in class and you're working on an obituary draft or something like that, I'm going to say, post it on the Google Drive so that I can bring these up easily in class and we can look at those. The final versions of your assignments get put onto D2L. That's the lockbox for your grade. This is our sandbox. And I've been using this approach for the past couple of years, and it works pretty dang well. It gives you a view into what other people are doing as well as your own stuff. And then it enables me to sort of match all of that so that the assignments all come rolling in and they're all, about the same, more or less. They're all in pretty good shape. Okay. So that's that. I'm going to hop down a little bit more. So there's assignments here. And here are the assignments. So, and the grades are right. Taking my class is like playing a video game. So you go over here and you look under this rock and there's 25 points, and then you find this thing and you take it to the wizard and you get 50 points, that kind of thing. I want you to submit a question about the class, and that's worth points. You'll see we're going to do this all in one session, and at the end of it, it'll be worth a bulk of points. I want a writing sample. I want you to do a quick interview of a neighbor. I want you to show me evidence of a calendar, possibly a Google Calendar. I want you to have a resume of some kind. I want you to have a LinkedIn account. I want you to be able to create an automated signature in Outlook. I want you to show me your autograph. We're going to spend some time. I'll bring in some notepads, and you're going to write out a signature. The students need help with this. I did too. Like right when I was in college, my signature was this very grade school thing, or it was like a scribble, and I had to figure out how to do that. So I always get a kick out of this assignment, and you'll be able to improve. I pretty much guarantee it. We'll investigate a journalist. These are all mostly in-class assignments. Then we move into the writing. There's obituaries. You'll write your own obituary. You'll write a hard news story. I will show you how. I'll give you notes. I'll give you multiple options. You'll be able to either write something about campus, something about town, or I can give you notes that you will do an academic, style writing based off that. Or you can do like a roundup of news from Bare Essentials or the Daily Brief. There's all kinds of options. You'll do a profile of a person or a group. You'll do a sports story, again, based on either in-class notes that I give you, or you can actually go and cover a sports story. Opinion, review, do a video presentation at the end of the class, and this is your final exam. It'll be 5 minutes in length. You'll do it just like I'm doing it here. You'll pull all your materials together, and I'll give you a script where you'll introduce yourself and tell us, your major and your career goal, and then you'll take us through the highlights of what you've done in the class. And right now, I have in mind that should be about 5 minutes. We'll see about that. And then that's not it as far as that goes. I want you to lead a discussion, and I want the members of the audience, the class, to be able to participate in the discussion. So I don't want it to be like, here's my video, okay, thanks, and then you go sit down. I'm trying to, first of all, journalists have questions about things, and I want you to be in that mode. And also, even if you're not worried about being a journalist as a young professional, you need to be engaged. So you take a note or ask a question. That's all it is for each person. You write down a question. And you may not even get the chance to ask your question because 6 other people may have theirs. You see what I mean? But I want some engagement. I want there to be questions, and we're going to work on that at the end. Okay, so those are all the assignments. Here are my training videos. So that's where this is, and others as well. How to create an automated email signature, Google Alerts in Google Calendar, Journalism Handbook. Here's my review of that, 1, 2, and 3. I think this is like 8 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So I get you through the whole book more or less in 28 minutes. And then there's publishing manual, and then there's some fun stuff down here. So we'll get to that. Other online videos. This is how to upload a video. So at the end, when you create your Zoom video, you'll be able to upload it here. And now we're really heading toward the end of the semester. I do have journalism slideshows that we will cover. Maybe I'll make these into videos, maybe not. I don't know. They're pretty cool. I put these together, I don't know, 10 years ago or something like that. Then there's models. So I need to spend some time looking at my models here, and news examples, professional press, opinion, review, And I do have in my book like obit models, so I need to look at this. And then there's exercises related to headline writing. And oh, there's a media map that we're going to talk about in class, reordering sentences, synonyms. I have vocabulary and spelling exercises set up. Don't panic if you're not a good speller. It's just about learning. It's not like I'm going to, say, spell these words and then, you miss 8 out of 10 and then you have to be ashamed. I ain't playing that game. You'll see what we do there. I do want you to show up and participate, right? And then learn a few things. I want you to have the moments where you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll remember that based on this. I've had students say, oh, now I remember. I will remember what that is. Okay, so let me jump into the syllabus then. That is the quick introduction to D2L. Here's the course syllabus, and I'm going to download it. Download as a PDF. Let me show you what it looks like from top to bottom. It's like that. What is that? It's 6 pages. Don't be intimidated. A lot of this stuff is kind of required. Like, the university says you have to include your office hours. You have to include this status clery report statement. You need to do all these things. And it's important. This is more or less a legal document so that at the end of the semester, this is how rules will be enforced. So just to let you know. Needed some tea. All right, here we go. Dr. Downing, Journalism 1, Kutztown, Spring 2023. Again, I'm in Lytle Hall. Here are my office hours. Course description. We're focusing on the fundamentals of news writing and reporting. We'll talk about the First Amendment, interviewing human sources, conducting research, which basically means reading, using Associated Press style, using the inverted pyramid, the 5 W's and the H, developing skills in photography, image literacy, and extremely basic video production, which is just making a video on Zoom. The course stresses audience awareness, context, and tone, along with clear writing, careful editing, accuracy, technical skills, computer, photography, internet, video, consideration of current events, and a discussion of the legal, ethical, constitutional matters related to journalism. The material prereqs are here. Required materials, my journalism handbook, which is on D2L. Reading assignment, this is all on D2L. Access to the internet, right? Access to a digital camera. We will go on campus and you will take portraits. I will provide instructions, so you'll need to bring your phone. I will show you examples. Access to Zoom, a Google account, and access to your OneDrive so you can save things at your computers. Journalism skills are readily transferable to numerous professions. This is the rationale for the course. Learning to write factually and succinctly, considering multiple sides of a story, interviewing people from various backgrounds, hitting deadlines, considering audience needs, approaching situations with a skeptical eye. Bet you didn't think all this was in here, right? Conducting research on various topics, creating content for online and or print publications, all useful skills for any professional. You don't necessarily have to be a journalist in order to do this. I mean, this is done all the time, all over the place. Okay, objectives then. I'm not going to read all of these. They're there. I want you to attend class regularly. Develop these various skills. You can look at all of these in time. I do want to draw attention to the attendance policy. Grade limits based on unexcused absences. 4 unexcused absences. Final grade no higher than a B. So if you turn in everything and it's all fine, this will be the deduction at the end, and it goes on. 5 unexcused, 6 unexcused, 7 unexcused. You can't pass the class if you have 7 unexcused absences. Now, this is based on classes that meet twice a week. So each class is an hour and a half-ish. And if you miss 2 classes, that's 3. If you miss 4 classes, that's 6 hours of class time. 6 hours of class time. Think about what I'm downloading right now to you. How long have I gone in this video? Between 15 and 20 minutes, maybe? This is 20 minutes of class time. So to roll up and be like, hey, Dr. D, I know I missed these 2 weeks of class, unexcused, and did I miss anything? Yeah, you missed a ton. And that's what I'm trying to emphasize here. Come to class. If you have an excuse, then please have a conversation with me. If, there's a range of things that can happen, right? Health-wise, legal-wise. But I need you in class. I will be there, and this is where I'm coming from. Grading scale then is listed here for the minuses in the plus system. Late submissions, journalism courses are deadline driven. Late submissions will result 50% penalty. So if you're coming to me unexcused 2 weeks later, here's my work, it's all going to be 50%. What I'm really trying to stand against especially in a journalism class is somebody rolling up at the end with a bunch of stuff going, hey man, here's all my stuff. I know I missed all these classes and I missed all the deadlines, but hey, I deserve a B. It's like, no, there's some built-in things here that are going to prevent that from happening. Okay, on the lighter side, Keystone newspaper, I am the advisor, and so I hope that this class is a pipeline of information to the Keystone. And if you're interested in getting involved more formally, we can do that. Joining the staff, it means contributing. And then that will enable you to build your portfolio and to also build your resume. I can show you how to create a separate page of publications in addition to your single page resume. We will talk about this stuff going forward. So there's the website. You can contact the editor-in-chief if you are interested, and then try to get an assignment from this class published. There is that flexibility. We'll talk more about that. Extra credit, you get published in the Keystone, talk to me. Talk to me before, during, and after so that we have an idea. Typically, I would give you enough points that would equal an assignment, another writing assignment in the class. So if you want extra credit, there you go. There's also a superstar option, meaning if you were the editor of your high school newspaper and you're here now saying, well, I'm not really that thrilled by sitting in class and doing academic stuff, right? I want to do more than that. Not that there's anything wrong with the academic stuff. They're good lessons in class, and we'll have the opportunity to discuss who did what choices were made. But if you want to really pursue, a series of articles, like 5 articles in the Keystone to replace all your writing assignments in class, and to have them published and to have them on your resume or your list of publications, then I will have that conversation with you. Writing assignments, these are on D2L. Reading assignments, these are on D2L. These will unfold. There's the Writing Center. And I say here, get another set of eyes on your writing. I've been working with them over time to bring them up to speed on AP style and journalism style writing. Now, they do have turnover, so it's an ongoing thing. But right, dude, get somebody to look at your work. Don't just knock it out and say, I think I'm good. I'll look at your work, have another student in class look at your work, have somebody from the Writing Center look at your work. Plagiarism, please don't. I'm not going to read all this, but if you take somebody else's work and put your name on it and submit it to me, that's going to be a problem. And you can fail the assignment, you can fail the course, you can be suspended from the university or permanently dismissed. I mean, all that stuff starts to add up. They create a file, and it has happened. I had a student in tech writing a few years ago copy a report, and then I start to encounter this language, and I'm like, where's this language coming from? And I do a Google search, and it's boom, I found the exact thing, right? And I was able to bring the student in and be like, look at the screen, what's up with that? And they just turn red at that point, and it's a whole thing. So let's not do that. Tips for course success. Well, this class begins with a conversation about time management, and I am the believer that this is, we pressurize the coal and we make diamonds with it, and you do that by managing your time. If you're right, we'll talk more about this in class, but bottom line, if you don't have a calendar, you need to have a calendar. And students for years have come back to me and said, oh, Dr. D, I was in your class. I still use my Google Calendar all the time. I depend on it. And that's what keeps me going in this direction. If you have accommodations, please let me know. The letters are already rolling in. Clery Act. So if a student discusses with me or in class anything related to stalking, dating, violence, domestic violence, I am compelled legally by the federal government to report this to Jesus Pena on the university, at the Title IX coordinator, equity and compliance at the university. So it doesn't happen very often. I did have a student 5 years ago or so that came in and talked to me. And I said, whoa, wait, hey, before you go any farther, you need to know this. And she said, that's fine. I choose to talk about it. And I think they did reach out to her and offer her assistance, and that's what it's about. So letting you know that. COVID, I'm going to be wearing a mask. We are not out of this. And when I wear a mask, I don't get sick. As soon as I take off the mask, I get sick. So you're going to see me with a mask quite often. If you come and see me during office hours, I'm going to ask you to wear a mask. Syllabus is subject to modification. absolutely. So I will, but please know this: I will never add anything. I'll never be like, oh well, wouldn't it be great to write a 35-page journalistic investigation during the last week? I'm not going to do that to you. What can happen here, and the reason I say this is because we will discuss it. I'll say, well, we're not going to have time for this, and I'll be like, are you cool with that? And everybody goes, yep. And then on we move. That's what I'm saying here. But I'm allowing for changes if needed. Here are instructional resources if you need them. This isn't a research class, but it's required, so put it in. And then there are these websites here that are useful. So maybe we'll take a look at these: American Journalism Review, etc., etc. Media Resource Center Pointer is a good one there. And then at the end, here is the timeline for the class along with points. So I tried to get it all on one page, but here's the good news: is that the bulk of the points are all on this page. If you want to, it was being weird on me as I was taking the table and pasting it in. So I got the best of it, but there's no assignments here. Basically, it says during the final exam session, I'm going to be in my office and feel free to visit. This is the total points in the class right now, and here's what they look like. And you'll see that there are points available. Class 1, 35 points. Class 2, 25 points. Class 3, 150 points. So if you start running a deficit in the class, it's going to get ugly pretty quickly. You're going to be coming at me with, I missed class, and what do I do, and all of that. So I understand that people need to miss class from time to time. But like last semester, I didn't miss any classes. You see what I'm saying? And you're going to say, well, it's your job. And it is. I understand. But there were also students who didn't miss any classes, like a bunch. So that's where I'm coming from. So you should be able to follow along here. Actually, you can print this if you want to and put it on your refrigerator. I think it's pretty clear what we're going to be doing at any particular time. You'll notice then we do reach a point where we're going to watch a movie. It's called Spotlight, and it's about journalists, and I want you to be there. And I'll take attendance there, and you get those points for being there. And then video presentations at the end, Q&A and discussion. Right? I mean, I don't know whether I should take this all from the top or not. It's pretty self-explanatory. I would urge you to take a look at this. Like your assignment coming out of the first class session is to take a look at the timeline. I think I've covered the syllabus pretty well. But here we go. And then what I'm going to ask you to write, what do you know about journalism? And that's going to be question about the course, and first writing is going to be 35 points. Then you're going to interview a partner. You're going to submit the interview. Excuse me, 25 points. Calendars, resumes, LinkedIn, automated signature, autograph, list of publications. That's all 150 points. So we will be busy on that day. We'll see how far we can get. And on it goes. Okay. I think that's it as far as the introduction to D2L and the course syllabus. And on we go.